Hey guys, Mike here, the Detroit Borg, with a quick review of the Samsung Galaxy S4 S View flip cover. This is an official Samsung accessory for the S4 and adds a twist on a concept we've seen before with the Galaxy S3 and the Note 2. So instead of having just a flip cover to cover the screen, they now added this window here, which allows you to interact with the phone and see brief information such as the date and time, your notifications, battery status, even your playback track information. You can also answer phone calls directly from that little window in the case. You can also reject a phone call. Otherwise, you're limited to in terms of what you can do through that window. We'll take a look to see how that works. But this retails for $60, a fairly hefty price tag. This is also available in white or black to match your white or black S4. So let's go and take a look to see what we get here. So we have a little cover covering the window. There's another one on the inside. We'll take that out. There we go. We also get a little limited warranty information. And on the back, we also have another piece of plastic covering the back. So let's lift this up. Alright, so let's go ahead and take a detailed look. Now before we install it on the phone, let's just take a quick look here so you can see that this is basically the battery door. So this is the entire back cover of the GS4 with a cover pretty much sealed into it. It's kind of permanently sealed in there, so you can see it's not going to come off or anything like that. Now if you look at the fabric on the front of the cover, you can see it actually has a weave pattern, and it's pretty much weather sealed. It has a nice shine to it. The weave pattern is actually similar to the pattern on the back panel, kind of that if you look really close, you see that the GS4 back panel has that weave, sort of a weave underneath the glossy plastic, as does the front of the GS4, so you can see they kind of picked that up here with this design. Now on the inside we have this felt line or microfiber material which helps to keep the glass clean. Obviously we have our window here which is either glass or plastic. I believe it's plastic. It's pretty flexible, but it feels nice and rigid, and of course it does tend to pick up fingerprints. Now you see we do have these cutouts for the speaker grill. We also have this little bump out here for the home button. Alright, to install the case we just need to remove the one they've included with your phone. Take that off, go ahead and store it, and let's put on our case. Snaps on just like the standard cover or standard back panel. Alright, so with the cover installed, you can see pretty much looks like a Galaxy S4, but it is slightly thicker. So for example, if we bring in the standard GS4 here, the one with the standard back panel, you can see if you look around the camera cutout, you can see that there's a raised portion around the camera on the standard back cover, while there isn't one here, and that's because this is thicker. Therefore, things like the flash is more recessed than the one on the GS4. This doesn't seem to affect performance in any way. So you can see also if you look side on, there is a slight difference in thickness. So it is a little slightly thicker phone with this back panel. Now the interesting thing here is when you open up the cover. So it wakes up the screen. You can see it's actually in the lock screen mode. But if you go to settings here, you can change this. So if you go to settings, go to My Devices, go to Accessory, you can enable automatic unlock when you open the cover. So if we've done that, we close the cover, locks the screen, wake it back up, takes you right to the home screen. There you go. So as you can see here, we also get that preview window. So we get our clock, daytime, we get our notifications up here. You can also see our battery status, cellular service, Wi-Fi service, etc. in the upper bar. So again, if you lift up, wakes up the screen, close it. You can see at the point at which it goes to sleep there. So within maybe half an inch, it puts the phone to sleep or wakes it up. Now you can also view this window just by tapping the sleep wake button, or you can shut it off again. So that's one way of quickly accessing this information. So that's one of the benefits of having this OLED screen. OLED only needs to power the pixels it's showing, so it's not backlighting the entire screen. Now if you're on an LCD screen, the entire screen would be backlit behind this panel, but with OLED, the only thing that's lighting here is the pixels you're using. So in theory, this actually saves or conserves some battery power when you're going to check your notices. Now you can interact with this screen, but only if you're receiving a phone call. So if you receive a phone call, you can swipe to answer it or swipe to cancel it. So that's kind of a neat feature here. And because you have your earpiece open here, you can hear through it. You also have your microphone down here, which is not obstructed by the presence of the cover. Now there is a magnet in here which triggers this feature, but unfortunately it doesn't seem to keep the cover locked to the screen, so it kind of flops around here. You can also rotate this back behind you, so you can hold it behind the phone, keep it out of the way, and it allows you to use the camera. So you can see the camera's active, and thanks to that window, the camera can see through the case, so it doesn't obstruct the view of the camera. But of course, if you have fingerprints or something on this screen. It may interfere with the performance of the camera, but so do fingerprints on the camera lens. So otherwise, that's a kind of a nice side benefit to having that little window at the top of the screen that also allows the camera to work through it. Now, in conclusion, this ranks up there with Apple's Smart Cover in terms of clever case designs. But like the Apple Smart Cover, it fails to do one thing I think is very important, which is to provide full protection for the phone. So while it provides protection for the screen, so for example, if you want to lay it flat on the surface, you don't have to worry about scratching the screen, but it doesn't provide any impact protection. So if you drop the phone, it's going to land most likely along the edge or the back, and those impact zones are not protected. So if you land along the edge, you may shatter the screen, or you may chip it, or otherwise damage it. So for me, at $60, this case doesn't do what I need it to do. Now, it's nice to have this little preview window. It's nice that it conserves power, and it's nice that you can use the phone through that case. I still rather have full protection on it, and for that, I usually recommend the Spec Candy Shell. This is definitely one of my favorite line of cases. Provides a soft inner liner to protect the phone, provides a lot of shock protection along the edges, and I actually have this for my iPhone 5, my HTC One, and now my Galaxy S4 is the case I always recommend. I'm very happy with those products. So that's going to do for me in this review. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again in the next one.